Welcome, Diecast fans. I'm Tom Spanners-Watson.
And I'm Frank the Guru Gibbs.
And welcome to a special episode of the Canyon Outlaws.
After the Mega Robotics enforcement droids were finally taken out, it was time to invite some races while the streets were still empty. And the British Car Club was the first one to respond, so we're getting them out on the track.
This racing is going to be over 2 weeks, and first up, it's the Wannabes taking on the Brits.
First out the gate tonight is the Morris Mini, driven by Original Blondini. He's going up against Shipwreck, driven by Scooter Roundwell.
I'm not so sure how the Minis are going to go. That short wheelbase traditionally hasn't done well on the track.
Well, mate, to be fair, Scooter ain't been all that flash this season either, so maybe he's got a chance this time.
Nope, apparently not. So Blondini out in front gets a massive spin going down that second straight.
Oh, Reggie's getting looser than a bogan on a Friday night.
Well, loose or not, it looks like he's going to walk away with this one uncontested.
Yeah, that's a disappointing run from Scooter, but well done, Original Blondini. Takes out the first win. And if we have a quick look at the replay, you'll see Scooter just comes in on the wrong angle to Bogan Alley and unfortunately rolls his ride up onto his side.
Disappointing start from the Wannabes as the Brits go one up.
That's alright, mate. There's still plenty of racing tonight. I got the faith in the Wannabes.
Sir Barry Botherington driving the Morris Minor and Unicorn Claw driven by Chickadee is up next.
In the hundreds of cars we've had on the track, we've never had a Morris Minor. I'm dying to see how it goes.
Well, so far it's surprisingly quick off the line, maybe losing some top speed there as they go into Bogan Alley, and down goes Sir Barry Botherington. Unicorn Claw gets a spin on that second dogleg out of Bogan Alley, but it looks like Chickadee has finally got the car under control and is going to chalk one up for the Wannabes.
I have a feeling Basil was having a crack at Chickadee here. Let's go back to the replay. The Mori Minor comes in hot to Bogan Alley and just clips the back of Unicorn Claw. Luckily for Chickadee, it wasn't enough to stop him.
So Chickadee evening the scores now. One for the Brits, one for Built. Who's up next?
We've got an Aston Martin GT driven by Nathaniel Smythe going up against Rusted driven by Marco Polo.
Smythe gets the inside lane this time, Marco Polo in the outside. And who are you picking on this one, Frank?
I'm pretty confident that Aston could out-handle him, but I think Nathaniel's a little bit worried about scratching his paint.
Well, we know Marco Polo not afraid to mix it up, but he's out to a big lead. He gets the spinny spins going down the second straight, and here comes Nathaniel, catches up in Petrol Head corner. Rusted bouncing all over the track. The Aston makes a challenge down the outside, and Rusted just holds him off.
Rusted jumped out to a really good lead here. I thought he had it stitched up easily, but then as he left that second dogleg, he got a massive spinny spins going down that second straight, and went into a bit of a vomit comet situation there. I'm sure that's what shook him up, and that definitely allowed Nathaniel to catch right up to him.
I really thought Marco was going to lose it in that final straight. It was certainly close, but luckily Rusted holds on, chalks up another win for the Wannabes. That's 2 for the Built cars, 1 for the Brits. Hi, this is Dave from Dave's Nut Shack. You like eating my nuts? Now tell your friends to eat them too with this awesome t-shirt available from chaoscanyonmerch.online. Dave's Nut Shack. Get them in your mouth today. Yeah. Next up, we've got the Jaguar XJ6 driven by Norman Gunderson. He's going up against Furious Firebird driven by Lord Pruitt.
I wonder if Lord Pruitt's ever rubbed elbows with any of these snobs. I mean, Brits.
Yeah, good save, Frank. I'm sure nobody noticed. But so far, Norman Gunderson takes the lead from the outside lane. Furious Firebird catches right up as they exit Bogan Alley. The XJ6 somehow finds a massive burst of speed, but here comes the Firebird again, trying to get around. Can he find some space? No, he can't.
I must say props to Norman Gunderson there. He was under all sorts of pressure from Lord Pruitt, and boy did he handle it beautifully. He just kept his head, kept the Jag pointed in the right direction, and no matter what Lord Pruitt tried to do, he was able to hold him off. It was just a beautiful bit of driving.
I really thought the Firebird had him in this last straight. He pulls to the inside, but unfortunately just couldn't get the business done. And look at this as he goes across the finish line, rides up that sidewall. But unfortunately that means the score evens back up now. 2 for the Brits, 2 for Built.
So the pressure is on the Wannabes now, and we've got the Tobit Largo driven by Tarquin Allegra going up against Twinkle Toes driven by Harry SP.
Hey, hang on a minute. The Tobit's not an English car, that's a French car. What's that doing in there?
No, I'm sure it's a British car. You know, it looks like a fancy Morgan or something.
Nope.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it is, mate. I think he got it wrong.
Oh, speaking of wrong, Harry SP goes down, and that means Tarquin is going to take this as long as he doesn't crash. He keeps it clean through Big Kahuna Corner, and he is going to chalk up a win for the Brits, somehow driving a French car.
Well, that's on you, Spanners. You let him in.
No, I didn't. That was you.
Well, too bad, because it's too late now, because Tarks has chalked up the win and now takes the Brit team into the lead 3-2.
Halfway through and the Brits leading. That is not a good sign for the Wannabes. As we go to race number 6, it's the Bentley Bentayga driven by Tabitha Saunders going up against Strike driving Blue Thunder.
I'm sure Strike will be keen for a win this week after he lost to Twinkle Toes last week.
Yeah, I heard that trash talk carried on well into the night, but Strike just in the lead. Looks like he spun Tabitha out, trying to pull an early moose knuckle duster there by the look of it. Not quite as brutal, but Strike the only one moving at this stage.
I'm not sure you could really classify that as a moose knuckle duster because he didn't smash her into the wall like you're supposed to.
Calm down, this is street racing, not death race.
Oh, that's a great idea, Spanners. We should totally do that.
Whoa, I wasn't making a suggestion, I was just pointing it out.
I mean, we could even sprinkle some bogans around the track for extra points to get run over.
You were getting way too excited for this, just calm down. Alright, so Strike pulls it back 3-3 as we go to race number 7. It's the Ford Escort driven by Remington Cotswold going against Moving Violation driven by Rusty Bird.
Those Escorts may be old, but they go like the clappers. You're definitely going to have to watch that one.
So Moving Violation in the outside lane and Remington in the inside lane gets a massive jump on him here.
Old Remy there going flat out like a lizard drinking.
He gets spun around. Here comes Rusty Bird trying to push around. Remington doing a great job of holding off the challenge. Moving Violation unfortunately unable to complete it before they hit the finish line, and Remington is going to take the win.
I thought this was a great challenge from Rusty Bird, but what a bit of driving in reverse in the Escort. Manages to get across the track and shut him out into the wall, and then again into Big Kahuna Corner, just took the best line and got away from him.
So unfortunately, the Wannabes lagging behind as we get into the last few races. Can Captain America driving Betsy do any better against the Aston Martin driven by Christopher Napier?
There's quite a few Astons in tonight's racing, but I think Betsy's got the measure of this one.
And what are you basing that theory on, Frank?
Well, that Aston is way too pretty to be racing. That shiny paint is just not going to stand up to harsh racing at the canyon.
Okay, to be fair, he does seem to be easing on the accelerator.
Unlike Captain America here, who's got a pin to the floor.
And Betsy clean through the last corner takes the win.
And it looks like he tried to take out the cameraman as well. I mean, that could also be bonus points.
Enough with the death race, Frank. We're not doing it on this track.
Okay, hang on a minute. So just not this track.
Moving on, it's the Range Rover Velar driven by Giles Latimer going up against Limbo driven by Demon Preacher.
Hey, hang on. So can we just circle back?
I said moving on, Frank.
You're such a wet blanket, Spanners.
What was that?
I said I really hope Demon Preacher does well here.
Well, he's going to have to catch Giles in that Range Rover if he wants a chance here. Doing well, but he starts to spin it. Here goes Demon Preacher around the outside.
What a sweet move from Demon Preacher there. That was a beauty.
Oh, he's got a bit turned around going through Big Kahuna Corner. He gets it going again, and it's going to take the win.
Crikey, I thought he choked right at the end there, but what a beautiful overtake here. Giles did a great job of controlling that Range Rover, and check out the drift he does, but Demon Preacher saw his opportunity and just lined it up beautifully.
A very well-timed win there against a very quick Range Rover, I gotta say.
Yeah, mate, Giles was surprisingly quick.
So with that win, it's 5 to the built cars, 4 to the Brits. Can the Aston Martin of Barnaby Whitehall take down Haka driven by Lily the dog, or will the Wannabes rule supreme?
Well, as long as there's no distractions on the track for Lily, like a squirrel or a cat or a tennis ball, then she'll be fine.
Whoa, Barnaby comes in way too hot, slams into Bogan Alley, gets a massive spin on, and it looks like Lily has taken to backing down the track.
I think that's a smart move from Lily. It means all the distractions are moving away from her rather than coming towards you.
Well, I guess whatever works, but let's just have another look at what happened to Barnaby.
Barnaby came in way too hot, slams into the wall, and ends up doing 2.5 full rotations. That's ridiculous. He must have felt so sick.
And with that, Lily makes it 6 to the built cars, 4 to the Brits. A dominant performance in the end by the Wannabes, but a little bit of luck there as well.
I'd definitely like to see some of those BRIT cars race again at some point in the future because there's some quick cars there, and I was even surprised by that Mori Minor.
Well, thankfully they held off the British invasion, but of course next week it's the turn of the Outlaws and they are going up against a much faster group of cars.
That's right, they take on the modifieds and the racing specific cars, so it should be some great battles next week.
Alright, well that's enough from us tonight. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Tom Spanners Watson, he's Frank the Guru Gibbs. We look forward to seeing you next time.